We are back in Premier League action on Boxing Day, when Mikel Arteta takes charge of his first game as our head coach. What has he prioritised ahead of our Boxing Day clash with Bournemouth?
Hi Mikel, what did you learn about your new team watching them from the stands on Saturday?
I think that we have a really good team, that there are a lot of things to improve, but at least the two things that I demanded from them, they were done. So they committed to something and they did it, so it was a good starting point.
And you've had a couple of training sessions with them now. What have you been working on? What's your priority?
Well, yesterday's session, it was for the players that weren't very involved in the game, so we couldn't do much with them, but we used the time to start implementing some ideas that I want to bring to the team straight away, and some behaviors that they're going to be important to help us achieve what we want to do. And today it was more about the principles, that the style and the way I want the team to play. So overall they have a little bit the picture that I'm expecting them to have in different situations of the game, and it was useful.
Do you have any injury news to start with?
No.
Nothing new, no?
No.
Fine. You talked in your press conference last week about trying to increase the energy levels in your team. Did you see a change in that area at Everton?
I did it. I think we are much more committed. I think we had a different kind of aggression every time we lose the ball. I think the body language was much better than in the past few games, and I think they played with more passion as well in the game. You know, obviously there were things to improve, but at least those has to be non-negotiable. Those have to be on the table for every game, for every training session, and the way we're going to live together.
Freddie Ljungberg said after the Everton game that he's been offered a role to stay on here. He was going to meet with you as well. You said you were going to meet with him. Can you give us an update with what happened there, and also the makeup of your backroom team?
I spoke to Freddie after the game. I told them that my idea is the people that I wanted to bring to form my coaching staff, the roles or responsibilities of each of them. And I wanted to know what he was feeling. I wanted to know what he had in mind, what his expectations were. And we talked, and we made a decision that the best thing to carry on was for him to stay with us. I think he can be very valuable. I think he knows the players, he knows the situation, he knows the history on where are we coming from, and as well his knowledge on the game is going to only help us to be better.
Did you know him very well anyway?
I knew him a little bit, obviously, and we will start a new chapter now, with ideas, with new ways of doing things. But I got a really good impression, and he's ready to help. He was very positive.
He said after Everton as well that he would have dropped Mesut Ozil even if he'd not been injured. What did you make of those comments, first of all? Does that suggest that there is a problem with Mesut's attitude as well as his football?
I don't know, it's a question for him. I just wanted him to make the decision on the day to pick the best possible lineup to win against Everton, and my job started just straight after the game to try to pick the players up, first of all mentally, and put him all the time in the work frame that I want, and with me they have a clean sheet. I told them, I'm not expecting, and you're not going to be judged on things that you've done in the past, whether they are negative or positive. This is evolving every day, and I'm expecting you to perform and be in the right mindset every single day for me. And if you do that, you will have a chance to play. If you don't, you won't.
Just looking at the games so far, before you arrived, obviously you've dropped points against Brighton, Norwich, Southampton, Watford, Sheffield United, Crystal Palace. There's a lot of games against teams, mostly in the lower half, that you've dropped points against. Does that mean that for the trip to Bournemouth, you'll possibly be looking at the mentality of the team? Is this a chance to assess that at this early stage?
Yes, we will try to put the most competitive team against that team. We know how tricky that stadium is and how complicated they're going to make it for us. But we have to be ready. We analyze the opponents, and we have to try to nullify them as much as possible and make, as I said before, as predictable as possible for us, so when the players jump in that pitch, they know exactly what they're facing.
You mentioned last week as well that you've not really discussed the transfer market at that stage. Have you had a chance to discuss with the hierarchy here at the club about what you're going to do in January? Because it's very near. It's only a few days away now.
Yeah, but we had many other conversations. Now is so much going on in the last 48 hours. But yeah, we have a meeting in place very soon. We have some ideas, but we have to put them together.
Just finally, from me, I just wanted your reaction to what was happening yesterday at Chelsea. Do you think it takes us closer to that depressing point where players are going to have to remove themselves from the field of play, or even clubs are going to be docked points or fined points for racist incidents among their fans?
I think if that continues, obviously at some stage, another type of reaction will be needed. You know, we have some protocols at the moment of how we have to behave towards it, but the message to drive that out and to be strong with it, you know, it has to be even stronger after what happened yesterday.
Mikel, hi, I'm Alison Benton from Premier League. Just first of all, how does it feel being back here in a different capacity? Have you had a chance to enjoy it?
Absolutely. You know, it's an incredible opportunity. There is so much work to do. I just try to embrace everybody here at the training ground and explain them what's my idea, what I want to try to do, and I need them all on board, you know. So everything that we've been doing the last few days, all the talks and meetings that we have, is just to get people jumping on board with the right energy, with the right idea, and we need them. We need them to help the players, we need them to transmit what we want to do, and so far I'm very happy with the reaction, at least from my side, you know, but what I've seen is I'm happy.
Of course, you have a big inbox of to-do. What do you think is the priority for you right now?
The priority is, as I said before, is that what we're going to transmit on the team is the reflection of the demands that we're going to put with them every day in training. It's a commitment, it's accountability, it's aggression and passion to play this sport and represent this football club. This is the basic that I'm going to demand to them now. And from there, after, we can start to build things and improve other things, obviously, that they have to be done as quick as possible. But if we don't have this in the right manner, I think it will be difficult.
In terms of the opposition in Bournemouth, how impressed have you been with Eddie Howe and what he's done for this team?
Very much. Since he started at the age he started as well, it's a good reflection from me for what he's done. He comes across really, really good. I met him many times when we play against each other many times. So it's a coach that I like, that I look at him and that I value the work he's done, because it's not easy at all to maintain that level for that many years.
We're just trying to get an idea of what kind of a manager that you'll be. I know that Pep Guardiola is very, he had a lot of preparation, a lot of tactics, took players into his room and did lots of laptop sessions. Is that the kind of person you are?
Yes.
And I wonder how much of an influence you are. And a lot of people say that you haven't got any experience as a number one, but how much do you think that you did at Manchester City as a number two?
I helped as much as I could, you know. To put that into figures is not something I would like to do, but I gave everything I had to try to improve the club, the organization, and the players, and they create the right environment and give the solutions to the players to feel more secure when they were jumping, then to know exactly what I wanted to do. Give guidance, give help to Pep, avoid him as many problems as I could, you know, jumping into his door. That was one of the biggest challenges as well, and enjoy the profession.
Mikel, sorry, another question about the problems with racism. Are the Arsenal players told how to behave if they are confronted by a situation like Chelsea players had yesterday?
Yeah, I was discussing that right now, that there is a protocol in place that has to be guided. I think every context and every situation, though, is different, you know, so it's difficult to react, because emotionally a player can react in many different ways, you know, to the same situation. But yeah, we have to be ruthless with this as well, and we have to take that out of the game.